Hello and welcome to another edition of IIABCAL Voices. I'm your host, James Lott Jr., and we're highlighting and spotlighting the voices that are part of IIABCAL and the insurance industry of California. This person just got a higher position. We're happy to know this. She serves as the Senior Vice President of Sales for the J. Morey Company, which you've had many of their members, including Joshua Morey, on the show. She has also worked before as public relations for Mirai Company. She also currently serves as executive board member for the Nisai Week Foundation and a representative for Los Angeles from the New Generation Nikai Fund Voting Council, which I get that out there. And she has a BA in Business Administration, the University of California, Irvine. You see Irvine in the house. Help me welcome Ashley Arikawa. How are you, Ashley?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me, James. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here. I've never been on a podcast, so this is all new to me, but I'm just really excited to be here and kind of have a conversation and see where this takes us.
As they say, you never forget your first, as they always say in life. So this would be hopefully a good experience. Well, number one, I think it's very cool that J. Morey Company sees value in you and your work, and you've recently ascended into the Senior Vice President of Sales. Why for you is J. Morey Company a good fit?
Wow, that's kind of a huge question, but I started off as an intern for them during college.
Oh, wow.
I signed up to do a community internship, and they saw that I was a business major, so they asked, "Hey, we have a lot of nonprofits that you can intern with, or we have a couple of local businesses." So I chose that route. So I had a joint internship with Union Bank and the J. Morey Company. So I had joint custody between both of them. And I did not know anything about insurance. I didn't even really know much about my own auto policy, but being an intern there, that really changed things. I did things from just clerical stuff with clients to managing their social media. At the time, they were kind of just dabbling in things, and it was really cool for me to just kind of explore. And even though as an intern, they gave me a lot of support and really just said, "Hey, try these different things." You're kind of the voice on the social media platforms for our company. So I had a blast just getting to know the company and whatnot. And then I had an opportunity to work in public relations, and I was a marketing major. So I was like, I really want to just at least try this out. So I went to work for Murad. It was a great team, but I was there for maybe a few years, and then they started going into different changes, and I stayed in contact with Josh and Kevin at the J. Morey Company, and I kind of went through this realization where I was like, I think I really like and thrive in working at a smaller, just community business. It speaks a lot to me, and it's a lot more meaningful. It's an insurance, which I didn't, expect to kind of go that route, but being with the company really allowed me to also tie in my passion with volunteering and supporting the community and those organizations with what I do. So they kind of created a position for me to continue spearheading their marketing and social media efforts. And that was kind of a big change for them and a big step, an investment. And they took a chance on me, which I am just immensely grateful for. But it's this culture that they've built and that they've always had, but, a really tight-knit community of folks who just really care about each other, care about their clients. And, I saw that, and I just really knew it was a special thing, and I wanted to be a part of it. So that's ultimately why I came back. And now in my role, I really want to just spread the word and show the community and everybody how great this agency and this company is, and just continue to spread the word and hopefully just make a really, really positive impact on the community and in different people's lives.
Well, I like that because insurance is personal. I mean, whether it's for business or auto or life and health, or no matter what section it is, insurance is personal. And, and insurance is about people. I talk this on the show all the time. So I think what you're talking about, like you like giving back to community, like you do community outreach, being part of it. I think that's a great thing that all insurance companies should be doing anyway, right? Large or small. But you get to be involved in that. For you, it's like you can almost, it's almost like if that's the main focus, you can always learn the ins and outs of the business, which you did. You can literally say you started from this position from the bottom on the way up. You learned
Yep.
along. That's, and to me, that's a good thing too. I always say it's good to know all parts of the business. I always say it's good for a well-rounded,
Exactly.
rounded self. But see, now you know all this stuff, and you work in PR. So when it comes to sales and selling the company to people, you're ahead of the game. And I just think, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, social media really is important nowadays, isn't it? To the success of a company, or can be.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, it's not everything, but it's a great form of communication just to reach a lot of people and kind of showcase what you guys do outside of insurance. Insurance is a necessity for people and businesses in order to thrive and be able to, grow. But there's a lot more to running the business than just that. And I think people care a lot about that and kind of want to see, who they're working with, and a lot of times. So it's a great way to showcase that, showcase the people. And so that's kind of how we've used the platforms, to spread information, but also just share what we're doing and what we're all about. And I think it's been really effective for us. And even just getting creative in terms of getting in front of different prospects or different types of outreach. We use it as a creative outlet just to try different things. And I think for a while, it seemed like the insurance industry, they had their formula down of how people would do things, but, we're trying to push the envelope and just try things that, maybe they were already implemented in different industries, but why not? Insurance industry can do it too.
I was the same way when I was in insurance. I was with IBA West, it was called IBA West back then, for 10 years. And I was the same way. My partner and I, we were trying to do all kind of different stuff, just because I think, the world is moving forward and generations are changing, and each generation wants something different. And something you just mentioned, I think is very important. I'm noticing in all industries, people want to go to a job and make a difference. They don't just want to go to a job and push papers and sell. When I was coming up, sales were sell, 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 whether they wanted it or not, to sell. But I'm seeing, you mentioned it a little earlier, it's more about, I just want to sell them. I actually believe in this product. I believe in this company. And now I want to impart that on you, and hopefully you will take it. That's the route, isn't it?
Exactly. And I think a lot of it is still relationship based too. So, just taking the extra mile and having that personal touch and just having different ways of reaching out to clients. It is really important. I think people are, continue to see the value in that.
Yeah. Creativity has a place in all kinds of industries, folks. That to be something separate that actually can bring and people like you come in here and sometimes they have ideas. You're like, that's really interesting. Why not try it and see if it doesn't work? It doesn't work. But if it does work, it does. It can really work for you. So creativity is a big thing. What is one thing that you learned while doing PR from your ad that you bring with you at J. Maury?
That's an interesting thing just because, there's different aspects of PR that I was involved with at Murad. So everything from coordinating events to community relations, doing different partnerships with nonprofits, also press releases and press related events. And, the company has been doing a lot of different things and we're trying to get the word out. So some of my previous knowledge about press releases and putting those together has really come in handy. It's funny because I'm looking back to my time at Murad and it's kind of coming full circle with, having to think back to different situations, or it's like, okay, well, what did we do in this situation that maybe I can apply here, and just little things about that are coming back. And it's great to be able to know that, in my previous life at Murad during my PR time, I'm able to still use that information. And it's this, feeling of collective experiences continues to propel you forward in whatever direction that you take your career and life into.
It's funny because I've learned this also. I've had many careers, and it seems like everybody who's come from somewhere else ends up using what they've learned in the insurance industry. And that's from customer service. People who've gone to show who've done retail, food service, all these things. It's still all the basics of stuff does work in this industry, doesn't it?
Yep, it's funny how that happens, but I think that's what makes people's experiences or just time that they've learned other things and other skills really valuable because they can bring different perspectives and ideas to whatever it is that they're doing now.
Yeah. Is there any cultural differences when dealing with Asian communities that you find that may be different than other communities when you're dealing with them?
Um, let's see. I mean, I think it all still comes down to relationships. At the end of the day, people still want to work with somebody that they trust and that they like talking to because, insurance is a part of a lot of different aspects of the business. So I think we've found that whatever, type of company or people that you're dealing with, it just comes down to that, having good communication and just having a good fit with different people. Some people, you might just not jive with as well or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if you have the heart to help them and they're willing to, accept that help or whatever it is, I think, you can make it work and you can create a great partnership with whoever you're working with.
I think that's a great message for people. That whatever gender you are, orientation or race, it comes down to we have a lot of sameness. It comes down to the same couple things like you just mentioned. It's trust, it's respect, it's all those kind of things. It's like as long as people are open to those aspects and you show them, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's can they trust you, respect you? Do you have a good product? That's also another thing too. Those are the basics, aren't they? Those are like the basic things.
Yeah, I think so. And as long as people kind of feel that with, whatever interaction that you have with them, it's you're going to do great things and you're at least going to have that open communication with each other.
So are you from Southern California originally?
I'm from Torrance.
Oh, yeah, I'm in Inglewood right now. I'm in Inglewood, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you're like me, we're like actual LA residents.
I am.
It's always rare here. Everybody's like from somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm from Torrance. Okay. What was it like for you growing up in the South Bay area?
It was great. I mean, it wasn't until, I think maybe I went to college, but that I realized that my Japanese American upbringing really had a big influence on me. But I was just a typical kid. I actually didn't go the route of playing basketball, which is really common in the Japanese American community. I don't know how to play. I've tried, but it's.
Girl, I can't play either, and I'm black. I can't play either. Well, I can't do either. I can't do either. Yeah.
So I did gymnastics for about 7 or 8 years. And then I segued into dance and yoga. So that sort of sphere, but had a pretty typical upbringing, I think. But I think I was kind of caught in an interesting mix of actually a Japanese American because I didn't quite fit into, the purely, Japanese speaking folks from Japan, but also I didn't play basketball and couldn't associate in some of those ways with other Japanese Americans. And actually, I think I didn't have any close Japanese American friends besides my best friend, who happens to be half Black, half Japanese. So it was just the two of us, and we had a lot of Korean American friends, but grew up, with just a lot of different folks. And then I moved out to Irvine, which is not too different, but at least exposed me to a lot of different other cultures and aspects that I really had a great experience over there too. And yeah, I guess that's me.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. So what is one of the things, because I know you see Irvine. I know folks who are out there too. What is one thing about UC Irvine you really did enjoy? You say you met different cultures and stuff, but what is the one thing about that campus you really enjoyed? It's a beautiful campus, number one, but what did you like about it?
So let's see. besides the campus just being beautiful and so safe.
Yeah, no,
I think
yeah.
I appreciate that as an adult, just having such a great area to be able to experience college. But I think being able to meet some different people, my business classes were phenomenal. So even though I was undergrad business, I had a lot of graduate school teachers.
Oh, wow.
So Paul Mirage School of Business is pretty highly ranked. And so we had a lot of teachers from there and had a really positive influence from them. And then just, meeting different other business students, also getting involved with some of the clubs. So I was involved with the Japanese social club over there and still talk to a lot of them, really close to a lot of those folks, and I had a good time.
Yeah, I was telling her off camera, and some already know that I have a Japanese godfather and Chinese godmother, and I grew up with both those cultures here in LA. And there's a lot of culture here in LA with that, and I love it. I have an affinity for it. I just think that's what I love about Southern California. It's very diverse. Like, it really is very diverse here, and any of the schools you go to, many of them are very diverse. I went up north to Cal State Chico, but it was crazy up there. But I had a good time. I got my degrees and everything I did. But the schools down here, they're great. And again, beautiful campuses down here. Oh, so nice. But yeah, I've been to Irvine for several things, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, no complaints. It was a great experience.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
I'm lucky.
What would you say to young Asian women who are thinking about going into insurance, or if they're thinking about, I don't know where I want to go in life? What would you say to them as a choice while making insurance maybe a choice for them?
So I would say, it does come down to the fit of wherever you end up being. So I think looking at company culture and kind of getting a feel for wherever direction you're going is really important. I would say take as many opportunities to try things as you can. I didn't think I was going to end up in this route, but I think, I said yes as much as I could to opportunities. And then, as I kind of navigated the waters, then I got a feel for what I was good at and what I wanted to do. And then I was able to be more selective. But I think just kind of embracing it and also not being afraid of, maybe, there's not as many folks of, not as many like young Asian women in the industry, but that's not to say that you can't be the one to really make a difference and open the door to others who might be interested, and try and find mentors too that will really help to advocate for you, give you opportunities, and point you in the right direction. Because I think that was one of the huge things for me, having the support systems. I think in the beginning, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but there were some really strong voices that were advocating for me and kind of always just supportive and letting me know, hey, whatever you want to do, we have your back and fully support you. And just knowing that was just amazing to me. So I think trying different things, not being afraid to dive right in, and then also finding the right mentors is what I would share with those.
I agree with that completely. I think two things you are doing. You are representation. So now you're on here. Anybody watches this, I have people who watch this who aren't in insurance, who are in other things. They love the show. So now they can see a face. That's always just number one. So you are representation right there, realized. So any other young Asian or Asian women looking at this, go, oh, she's doing it. So maybe I'll check it out. And insurance also is a vast field. So there are, like she just said several times, there are many things you can do within the industry. Try things out, figure them out, find them out. And three, mentors are a great thing, folks. I have mentors and in various fields, and I think it's they have wisdom, they have knowledge, they have experience. They get to know you and they see your strengths. They can probably direct you in areas. I mean, ultimately, it's always your decision. But I think having great mentors, nothing like having a good mentor who literally is there for you to kind of lift you up or be there for you when you're not feeling so strong, all those different things. I mean, mentors they're a great thing. And I don't think people really realize that enough. When you hear the word mentor, you're just like, but like actually go seek people out who are who just know stuff. You've been around and you know things.
Yeah. And I guess one thing to say about the industry too, which I find really fun, is that you get to work with so many different types of industries, especially on the commercial side,
Oh
so many
yes.
different types of people. You could be working with a manufacturer one day, a restaurant another day, you know, a nonprofit. And then at the end of the day, you're just, you know, you're helping people. So, you know, it feels good to be able to contribute to helping somebody in that way. But those are a couple of things that I didn't realize initially about the insurance industry that I just really enjoy now. And I hope people kind of, you know, I think maybe the industry doesn't get the best reputation sometimes. Maybe it's a little bland, but I think if people kind of reframe their perspective, I think the industry has so much to offer.
Well, I'm saying I was in the industry for 11 years, and whew, I had a lot of fun. I mean, it was hard work. When I did hard work for it, I had hard, but no, but I did meet all kinds of people in all kinds of industry. I mean, from wine and liquor to, you know, everything in between. So hair care. I mean, it's like insurance is, it's just it covers everything. So everyone needs insurance. I mean, that's just kind of, you know, so I never found it boring. I never found it boring. I mean, there's certain aspects of paperwork that may not be the greatest, but I never found it boring because it was still very people based. That's what I learned
Mhm.
in it. I realized how much, like, I left the industry 13 years ago. Now I'm back doing these shows, and I'm like, I've got to find out how many people I know in the business. I'm like, oh yeah, we met at this conference. We did this conference. Like, it's very personal and personable. And I don't know about you, but it's one of these industries where people, yes, it's competitive, but no one, it doesn't feel like it's so much competition. It's just that it's just, you may know something better than I do. I can still come to you, and chances are you'll probably help you and assist you. I mean, that's a great. I mean, not in Hollywood, but in other places. I like that, and I like that about insurance. I do.
Yeah, I found that in a lot of ways, you know, within the industry, people are willing to help, you know, or even if you're just starting out, you
Mhm.
know, you're like, hey, I don't have a lot of experience with this. Can you help me out or point me in the right direction? A lot of times people are willing to help you because they've been there and they understand the struggles, especially in the beginning of not really understanding or having a good grasp of things. But yeah, people are typically very giving.
Well, we're fans of the J. Murray Company, and I'm a fan of yours. So thanks for being on the show, Miss Ashley, and sharing what you've learned and what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And it's IABCAL Voices. We are on every audio streaming service you can think of, from iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Google. So wherever you listen to your podcast, you'll find it on there. And this video is on my online network, JLJ Media. I have over 35 shows. It's going from Star Wars to soap operas and insurance. So go ahead and check those out. Hit the little button, subscribe, and you can watch this one and all others, and then pass them along to other people who want to hear this. Thank you so much for listening and watching to the program, and we will see you next time here on IAB Voices.